Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for being here. My name is Nancy Marco, and I am the founder of the free online community Connecting You with Yourself, where we share opportunities for us all to learn and grow. And today it's yoga. So, when we're doing yoga without physical presence of each other, it really requires you to be 100% responsible for yourself, to tune in, tap into your body's wisdom, and listen to the sensations that it shares. So, I will give guidance for you to follow, but ultimately, your practice is 100% your responsibility. So, at Connecting You with Yourself, we share a lot that has to do with the Enneagram. And today's centering practice will be focused on what we learn in the Enneagram about our three centers of intelligence. So, most of us know about the head intelligence, the intelligence in the mind, but we'll separate that a little bit by understanding the intelligence of the two hemispheres of the mind, the logic and the intuition, and then the space between those to find the self or the observer versus just the thoughts that flow in our mind. We'll tap in a little bit to understand the power of separating between the observer, the higher self, and the thoughts to make space between them so that we can direct our thoughts during our practice to be supportive for us. So we can be a cheerleader for ourselves, not from competition, not from comparing, but from genuine heart space, which is the next center of intelligence. The heart intelligence comes through in the way of emotion. And like the head intelligence, we find value by making space between the heart, the essence, the soul, and the emotion. So most of us have been trained or we have observed becoming our emotion or resisting or denying the emotion. And none of those are how we tune in to the intelligence at the heart. But by making the space here to observe the emotion, to ask ourselves, what is this emotion telling me about me and my choices? Emotions at the heart are like a window into saying, are we aligned or misaligned? And they're meant to be learned from. Emotions become blocked by trauma, harsh experiences, training, schooling, social norms. And so today in our practice, in the centering and throughout the practice, we're going to practice opening this heart space to tune in, tap in to the core heart, to the heart that is at the center of our being, and that is love. We come back to feeling that love from the inside out, which changes a lot in our head, in our heart, and in our third center of intelligence, our body. So our body includes all our parts and our pieces, but the center is at the gut. And here we are invited to tune in, tap into the intelligence that comes through in the way of sensations. So really tuning in, tapping into the parts and pieces throughout the practice to notice, what is your body telling you? If you're not aligned correctly, you will feel it. When you get that alignment through the cues that I'll give you, you should feel stronger. You can always modify, lessen, or you can do more depending on your level of physical readiness for the pose. So we're all different. We all have different architecture. We all have different body history. So we might not look the same. At the body center, I'll invite you to find stillness, to go inward, to start our practice. We start there and to get quiet, to find our breath, to release tension, resistance, distraction, and to hold that awakeness throughout the practice. So I've got 2 blocks. We're going to use those today. I've got a strap. If you don't have a strap or blocks, there's things you can grab around your house. A dog's leash can work as a strap, a bath robe tie, a silk scarf, a band can work. And then for blocks, if you don't have blocks for this practice, you can grab 2 rolls of unopened toilet paper or paper towels that will work for what we're going to do. Or you can just grab 2 pillows, 2 blankets. You can roll them up, 2 towels. You can also use those. The other thing I have here is my water. Make sure you have water for our practice. Take a drink. And today's practice is going to be focused on the new moon that we just had, and it was in the sign of Leo. Leo is about strength, and it's not a strength over, it's an inner strength to face ourselves, to monitor ourselves, to become familiar with our personality and our ego structure, our patterns, especially our self defeating patterns, which can take a lot of strength to face and manage. And also, this full moon or this new moon, it's not a full moon, this new moon has no opposing planets, I am told. So it's a great time now until the full moon to self nurture, to take an inward journey. And today, our focus is going to be on 3 questions. The first question is, what do I need? The second question is, what do I wish to align with to show up at my highest way of being? And the third question is, what will support me to do so? And I invite you to ask these questions open ended. So, not trying to mentalize them to find the answer, to fix something, to come up with something, but allowing the answers to bubble up from inside of you. And they may show up in manifestations around you, reminding you, what do you need? So that's all I have for the prep today. So grab the props that I said, your water. I have a little music playing for myself in the background. You might do that too. I also have some scents for the ending practice, a blanket, a bolster. You don't need to have those things. They're just always nice for different practices to have. So we're going to start out on our back. Gently lay down on your mat. Have your 2 blocks or other props that you came up with to tuck underneath the outer edges of your thighs as you bring the bottoms of your feet together in a cobbler or Baddha Konasana pose. To start us out, just tuck those blocks underneath, let your knees splay out, and let your hips be open. Take time to wiggle around, to land the back of the hips, to check to see there's a slight arch under your back, to heavy your shoulders, to find the flat spot on the back of your head. Just take time to wiggle in. We're going to be here for a few moments. Make sure that this is comfortable for you. And anytime anything's not comfortable, don't do it. Just tune in, tap in, ask your body, what else can I do here? We're going to start out by opening all 10 fingers, making your hands as wide as you can. So in the center of our hands are chakras. These chakras are connected to our heart chakra. We can give and receive with these hand chakras. I'm talking about energy. And as we age, often our hands can start to clench, can start to close, We're just going to start out by spreading all 10 fingers nice and wide, feeling the space between each index and the length of the index, feeling the stretch in the mounds of your hands, taking out any arthritis that's settling in there and really reminding the body of the length of the fingers and the openness of the palm. And slowly exhale down, palms down, the hands to the floor, relax the shoulders. And again, just settle in here. As we tune in, tap into our body, our parts and our pieces, it helps to find our breath. Ujjayi breath is a yoga breath that is achieved by breathing in and out through the nostrils. And we take that breath in through the nose, comes down through the back of the throat, and it comes down into the lower lungs, which expands on the inhale and then contracts on the exhale at the belly. So give that a few tries. And notice the audible sound at the back of your throat on the exhale. Notice how the breath helps you to come into your asana, into your practice, to separate between what you were doing before and to be on your mat with yourself, doing your thing. So you might find a spot on the ceiling that you can use to stare upon, or you might find it relaxing to hazy or close your eyes and just feel what you feel. Notice, adjust if you need to make an adjustment. Always, always, always listening to the body. We're never pushing through anything. And just be right here, right now, in the body, on your mat, with your breath. Let your inhale heighten your awareness. Let your exhale help you surrender. Keep staying engaged with your breath and invite a sense of serenity. So those of you that know the Enneagram, I just talked about points 8, the surrender, point 9, the engagement, and point 1, the serenity. Slowly bring your hands over your belly. Let your elbows rest heavy and your fingers spread wide. Touch your belly and connect with the 3 chakras here, your pinkies pointing downward to your first chakra, where the declaration declares, I am. You are here and you are you. Your middle fingers lay over your belly, the second chakra. And the declaration there is, I feel. And it's not about the heart feelings. It's about how do you feel about yourself being here? How do you feel about belonging? Do you feel supported? Do you feel on purpose? Do you feel passion? Do you allow yourself pleasure? Are you digesting not only your food, but your experiences in your life? How do you feel about all of that? Your thumbs are pressing up towards your solar plexus. And here, the declaration of the third chakra is I choose. What are you choosing? Are you choosing from resistance, or are you choosing from being open and receptive? The third chakra is described as our power center. Are we using power over, or are we using that Leo power, that Leo strength to know ourselves, to be in choice with ourselves, how we are, how we show up? Take a moment here to connect to these lower part of your body, to say something nice to your belly, to your back, to yourself. And we're going to ask the three questions here, open-ended. What do I need? Maybe you change that to, what do you need as you speak to yourself? What do you want to align with that supports your highest way of being? And what will support you in that journey? We're going to move from the body center of intelligence up to the head center. So you can imagine the energy flowing up your spine, highlighting the space behind your eyes, between your ears. And then bring your hands into a prayer mudra above your body and start to rub your hands vigorously together to build some heat in the hands. So those of you that work or come attend the intentional living circles or any of the connecting you with yourself events may already know that as we bring the palms together in a prayer mudra, it helps to integrate the two hemispheres of our mind, the logical and the creative. So we're doing that, but we're also heating up those chakras in the hands, creating some heat and some energy. When it feels right, stop and just lay your hands a few inches from your face. Just feel that energy stimulating this head center, feeling the integration of the right and the left hemisphere, a whole mind. And then noticing what you're noticing all of this with the observer, the high mind, the self that is more than the thoughts. And then slowly bring your fingertips down to your forehead and just do little circular motions and come up into your hair, massage the top of your head ever so gently. And then bring your hands around your ears, and then underneath your ears is the vagus nerve. And just massage, rubbing with strokes from the top to the bottom, that vagus nerve. And then come to all the scalene muscles of your neck, just nice and gently, just taking your fingers and stroking them downward. And then do the same thing along your jawline. And then just nice little smoothing circles around your eyes, your cheeks, your nose. And bring those hands back to prayer. Lay them across your chest. And at the head center, the invitation from the Enneagram wisdom is to expand our understanding. We start with that space between self and thoughts, being able to notice your thoughts without engaging or getting lost in them, staying in the present moment point 7, presence. In an awakened state, point 6. With consciousness, point 5. Use what you have established in the body center, the surrender and the breath, to support you. So here we find the 5th chakra at the throat. I speak, aligning your inner dialogue, your outer dialogue with your high mind. 6th chakra behind the eyes, I see, seeing with more than the eyes, seeing from the high mind that allows us to expand to see many different perspectives. And then coming up to the 7th chakra, where we remember our connection to divine, whatever that means to you, what is more than our humanness. So these are the etheric chakras, 5, 6, and 7. And here we ask the questions again. What do I need? What do I want to align with? And what will support me to do so? And coming to the 3rd center of intelligence, the heart, layer your hands across your heart. Let your elbows be heavy. Let your shoulders roll away. Let your hands connect you to yourself, this heart center, this core of love at the center of your being. Here, the Enneagram invites us to know ourselves. Here is our heart chakra, the window into affinity for ourself and the declaration, I love. How are you showing up for yourself? How will you use your practice to nurture yourself, to take time to slow down, as we're doing during this new moon, to take things easy, take longer stretches, to be mindful, conscious, awake, present. Here at the heart center, at point 4, we're reminded of our humanness, reminded to forgive ourselves when we fall off course, come back to course. At point 3, to remember how precious we are. Keep coming back to that honoring of self, that remembering of how delicate and sensitive we are. And at point 2, to be kind with our practice, to be kind with our self-talk, to be kind to others, to be kind to the planet, to feel that unconditional love inside of us and let it inspire us in our thoughts, in our actions, to use our emotions as messengers, the messengers that they were intended, the intelligence they were intended to share. And here we ask the questions again, asking the core of your being, what do you need? And it can be anything. It can be, I need more movement. It can be, I need more rest. I need more stimulation. I need less stimulation. I need more people. I need less people. I need more food. I need less food. I need better food. I need a little snack, a little treat. What do I want to align with? What is the goal that I'm setting? Who do I want to be? What do I know about myself that I want to either soften or expand on? And what do I need to support me? So I know for myself, I need these practices. I need the practices to keep bringing me home. So that completes our centering. Open your eyes if you had your eyes closed. Bring your knees together and slide those blocks out to the side. Bring your right hand to the bottom of your arch of your right foot. Just rock your leg back and forth, feeling the movement at the hip, the little movement at the low back, just seeing how you do with that. If this is not accessible to you, the strap is another option. So if you can't reach your foot, just put that strap around the bottom of your foot and do the same thing. So after a few moments, a few sweeps, come into a half happy baby, just with the foot pressed towards the ceiling and the hand gently coaxing it down, not pulling, not forcing, but just feeling what you feel. Notice what you notice. Learn something about yourself. We're going to take that right ankle and lay it across the top of the left knee. And here you can grab a block if you have it, or you might be using your fingertips if your knee's really close to you. Just coax away that knee, opening up the front of that right hip. Make sure your head stays heavy, the back of your shoulders heavy, your shoulders roll away from your ears. You just open up that hip joint, the front of the right hip. And we're breathing that Ujjayi breath all throughout our practice, in and out through the nostrils, listening for that audible sound at the back of our throat. When it feels right, drop that block down. Take your arms out to the side and establish again the heaviness across your upper back. Lift up your hips by pressing into your left foot. Roll onto your left hip. Take your left hand to your right knee. You can coax it up if it needs that support, or invite it downward, giving a nice stretch to this right glute, the right hip. With the shoulders melted, slowly turn your gaze over your right arm, lowering your right ear to the mat, keeping this left shoulder really rooted. Then slowly open all 5 fingers on the right hand and bend at your right elbow, making a 90-degree angle, coming into a cactus arm. And that should invite a slight little opening in the right shoulder. So here we're twisting at our neck, heavying that right ear down, taking your eyeballs to reach to look over that right elbow, keeps the field of vision broad. We have a twist at our spine, a stretch at our hip, and just be gentle and breathe into it. On your next inhale, come back to center, keeping that right knee over the left. Draw the thighs towards you. Come into cow face. So reach for the tops of your feet. Grab what you can. If you can't reach the tops, if you can, wrap your fingers over the bottom of your feet. So here you'll feel your low back press into the mat, your tailbone's lifting off. And just take a nice stretch here, inviting your thigh as close as you can to your chest. Draw your elbows towards the bottom of your mat and staple your belly button into the bottom of your mat or to the mat. Cow face. On your next exhale, release, dropping that left foot to the floor, coming back into that hip opener. Or if it suits you, parallel your left shin with the ceiling, 90-degree angle under your knee. Take your right hand through the hole around the back of your knee or around your shin. It's called gate pose or figure four. You're splaying out your right knee with your right elbow. You're drawing your left thigh towards your body. It's a deeper stretch in that right hip. There's things you can do to add on here. You can rotate your left ankle, just bringing movement to that ankle. With the belly button stapled to the spine, you can start to lift your shoulders, the head. Don't close your throat, but activate the core. Just doing a little core wake up here and breathe and breathe and breathe. On your exhale, make your way out. Come back to where we started, feet on the floor, knees bend. Just reestablish the connections, the back of the head, the back of the shoulders, the back of the hips, and then find your half happy baby on the left side and just see what feels good. Swaying the foot back and forth, staying conscious with your breath. Let your breath be that anchor into being fully in your practice, and let that breath, when thoughts come to distract you, thanks for sharing, I'll be back to you in a bit. And just give yourself the gift of this practice. When you're ready, hold that happy baby, not too aggressively, just nicely. Breathe and breathe. Cross that ankle like we did on the other side, across the knee. Grab a block or use your fingertips. Coax away, open up the front of that left hip. Notice, take inventory of how the sides of your body are different. Most people have one side that seems to just work a little better than the other. We could go down that rabbit hole, connecting it to the logical and the creative brain that monitors the opposite side of the body. And then release, find your cow face. And on this one, if you want to add on, again, glue your belly button to the mat and float the chest. Be careful to keep the throat open, the head supported, and just use your core to hold you up. And breathe. On your exhale, come out. Either go back into that hip opener or find your figure four, just like we did on the other side. Rotate the ankle, splay away the knee, bring the thigh towards you, and if it suits you, float your chest. Ask yourself those three questions. What do I need? What do I want to align with? And what will support me? What do I need to change to let go of, to explore, to open up to. Make your way out. Come into full happy baby, bottoms of the feet, covered with their hands. Coax down, press up, but not too aggressively. Draw your elbows towards the bottom of your mat. Keep your neck long. So this is a great stretch for the hips, the inner thighs. It's a vulnerable pose. It invokes you to have trust and faith in where you're at and what you're doing, who you're with. And slowly come out, drop your feet to the floor. Drop your hands, palms down, walk your fingers towards your feet. Walk your heels towards your buttocks. Draw your knees together and then lift up your hips and lower them down in a nice, really easy bridge flow. So pay attention here. The back of the head is on the mat. The back of the shoulders is on the mat. We're lifting our hips, squeezing our glutes, pressing our knees towards the bottom of the mat. Just come into it nice and slow, finding where you can lift to. Keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. Do one more. Come on down. Bring your hands overhead and extend your legs long. Take a nice stretch. It's called salute. Arch the back. Get long with the fingers. Then walk your feet, right foot to the edge of your mat. Cross your left ankle across. Keep that left hip where it is and inchworm your shoulders towards the right so that you're creating a C with your body. It's called banana pose. Bring your hands up over your head, interlace your fingers. Keep that left shoulder, that left hip rooted and stretch, stretching up that left oblique. Nice and easy. Get long and lean. Slowly make your way out. Come back into a little ball or come into a little ball. Thighs close to the chest. Hands wrap around the outer edge and feel that stretch in your low back. Here, the add-on is you can float your heart up. Keep your throat out of your chest and breathe and breathe. And then exhale out, extend, long salute. And then walk your left foot to the edge of your mat. Cross your right foot over top. Glue your hip, inchworm your shoulders. Find that banana, that C. Bring your hands up over your head and stretch the right oblique. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. Slowly come out, inchworm back to the center. Walk your heels towards your buttocks. Keep your arms over the top of your head and roll onto your left hip, catching your head with your forearm. Make sure you're at the center of your mat. Create a 90-degree angle at your hip crease. Stack your knees and create a 90-degree angle under your knees. Take your right hand, roll your right hip to stack over your left. pull your belly button in. It's a Pilates move. It's called clamshells. It works to build the muscle around the hip to keep us steady and help us with our balance. We glue our big toes together and then open our knee to bring the top of our knee to the ceiling. Keep the core engaged. Make sure your head is supported and open and close. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to still. Separate the knees and the ankles and make circles going forward. So if you have more strength, you can straighten your leg, point your toe, keep the hips stacked and count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back it up. Go the other way. 10, 9. If you got a knee bent, you're just doing it here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the clamshells. Make sure your belly button's pulled in and open and close for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll onto your belly. Come into crocodile, forearms stacked one on top of each other. Forehead rest on the forearms, lift up the legs. Let the flesh roll to the outer edge and touch the toe mounts. Roll your shoulders wide. You might close your eyes here and ask yourself the 3 questions. What do I need? What am I aligning with? What do I need to add as support to help me to get to my desired way of being? This pose is described as a gratitude pose. So take a moment to say thank you to yourself for being here, for being able to take it slow today, to try out this new way of practicing maybe for you, to be with yourself, with your breath. Slowly lift your head, bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, spread your 10 fingers wide, heavy your hips, press into the elbows and lift up through the crown of your head, bringing your heart forward. It's called Sphinx pose. It's a stretch for the low back, little coming into a first little back bend, like breathe. Hips are heavy. You can lift your legs, release the flesh, keep the head lifted like a string is pulling the top of the head up. You can even take your eyeballs up to stretch that field of vision. Bring your heart forward. Breathe in and out through the nose. On your exhale, lower your chest, slide your hands to your nipple line, and press back into a devotional child's pose. So hips to heels, arms extended out wide, faces hovering over the mat. Feel the stretch in your low back. Lengthen through your crown and roll your shoulders away from your ears. On your next inhale, hands planted where they are, bring the hips forward, drop the hips towards the mat, drop the shoulders away from the ears. It's a low up dog. Just find another stretch to the low back. Come back to the devotional stretch. Slide your hands towards you. I almost fell off of my mat. And come up onto all fours. Tuck your toes. I'm going to walk up a little further on my mat. So box pose, our knees are about 2 fists width apart. Our hands are spread, our fingers are spread wide. Our hands are located under our shoulders. And we're going to cow, dropping the belly down, kissing the shoulder blades. Take a big inhale, and then tucking the tail, arching the back, tucking the chin. That's cat. Take an exhale, and just flow, moving from the tip of your tail to the crown of your head, which with each move. Come to still. And then let's do the other side. So come down onto your right side. Catch your head with your forearm. Stack your knees, make that 90-degree angle. Roll your hip back, contract your core, and find your clamshells. So set up for success. Think about what you're doing. Feel the movement, the stretch, the building of the muscle, and count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Separate and circle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 10 more clamshells. Set up for success. Think about pulling that belly button in, keeping that hip stacked. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll onto your back. Come into dead bug with feet and hands reaching for the sky. Roll your pelvic bowl so there's no space underneath your low back. Glue your belly to the floor. Rotate your ankles and your hands. Let the blood rush out of your legs and your arms back to your heart. Come to still with your belly button pressed to the mat. Cross your wrist and your ankles. So this is 1. Should be the easiest. So you can explore here by coming out a little wider on your crosses. That's 2. 3, you can lower your arms and your legs and then come back and then lower down. So find what works for you, keeping that belly button glued to the spine and breathe. I like to just mix this all up. Let's count to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come into a little ball, thighs tucked into the belly. It's double wind removing pose. Drop your shoulders away from your ears, and if it suits you, lift your shoulders without tucking your chin. Lower down the back of your shoulders. Bring your hands behind your knees. We're going to do some spinal rolls. So rolling up and rolling back, and up and back. And as you work into this, see if you can lift the top of your head when you come up without touching your feet to the floor. Of course, you might want to touch your feet to the floor. That's okay too. You're using your core to roll up and roll down. Are you breathing? Don't hold your breath. Next time you come up, you can hold it, feet down, head up, parallel chins. I got my back a little bit sensitive today, so I'm not releasing my hands, but you can release your hands, drop your shoulders, boat pose. Breathe and breathe. And then exhale down. Bring your legs long, slide your butt back, peel away the flesh underneath the sitting bones, and sit up tall. 90-degree angle at your hip crease, nice tall spine. Poke your hip crease and bow your heart. Think about a nice long spine. So here's another place you can take your strap, wrap it around the bottoms of your feet, and let it coax the top of your head towards your toes. If you don't need your strap, you can just grab for your toes. Think about what you're doing. You're hinging. You're not rounding. You're not tucking your chin. You're hinging forward. You're lowering the back of your knees down. You're stretching through the crown of your head. Drop your shoulders out of your ears. Seated forward fold. When you come up, bring your right leg with you. Peel the flesh between the thigh and the belly. Wrap your right elbow around and sit up tall. Flex your left foot, press out through the heels, stretch that left calf as you bring the top of your head tall. So seated, wind removing pose. You can stay here. You can sweep that left hand up and back, kickstand it behind you. Don't collapse, stay tall, and then tuck that right elbow on the inside and look over your left shoulder. Stretch your eyeballs to go a little bit farther than your eyes can go. And breathe and breathe. So this is the easy side. We come back to center, hug that thigh again. Bring the left elbow around the right knee and turn your shoulders to parallel with this side of your mat. You can stay here. More to the fishes is what we're doing. You can sweep that right hand up and behind, kickstand it. You can tuck this left elbow On the outside of your knee, look behind you. Is a bigger twist. Find your edge, find your yoga, find where it's right for you. And breathe and breathe. Like you're wringing out all that doesn't support you. Just let it come out the base of your spine. The grounding cord back to Mama Earth. She'll recycle, repurpose that energy. Give it back to her. Make your way out and find your way back into that seated forward fold. Take your time. Hinge forward. Use your strap if that's right for you. Come up with the left leg. Peel away the flesh. Wrap the elbow and flex that right foot. Lower the back of the knee and stretch the calf. Stay tall through the crown. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Sweep up that right hand, kickstand it behind you. Tuck that left elbow, easy side. Look over your right shoulder, stretch your eyeballs. Breathe and breathe. Exhale, release. Bring that right arm around. Turn the shoulders, lift the crown. And if it suits you, kickstand and tuck. Look over the left shoulder. This is also a great stretch for the back of the shoulders, the rhomboids. We're going to get into those next. And breathe and breathe. Fine tune, find where you're holding resistance, tension that doesn't need to be there. Breathe. And make your way out and grab a drink and transfer back into all fours, hands and knees. Stay kind of on the top end of your mat. So this time our toes are tucked. 2 fists width between the knees are right under the hips, and the fingers are spread wide. Blossom out through the tailbone, flattening this low back. Keep it nice and flat and sweep up that left arm. Press back the left hip. Turn the gaze to look to the left fingers. Give them a nice wiggle. Keep your belly button pulled in and then palm up. Slide the hand underneath the right armpit. Drop that left shoulder down the side of the head. Push in to the right hand and feel the stretch across the back of your left shoulder, the rhomboid. And breathe and breathe and breathe. Press into your right hand, come back to box pose. Reset your body. And then slide your left hand towards your knee, sweep it up and around, reach as far as you can forward, and do 6 sweeps. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep that left hand where it is. We're going to come into puppy pose. Bring your right forearm across the mat. Drop your forehead to your forearm. Slide your left hand out. Keep your hips over your knees and sag your belly. Widen across your shoulders. And breathe. And breathe. Slide your left hand towards you, lift up your head. Come back to box pose. Slide your left hand to your knee, sweep it up and back for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep that right hand long. Bring the left forearm across, lower the forehead, sag the belly, slide those right fingers out. Drop your chest towards the mat, widen across your shoulders. Say something nice to yourself, half puppy on this side. Breathe and breathe. Lift your heads, bring your right hand back, come back to box. Flatten out through your pelvis, press into your arms, square across your shoulders, pull your belly button in, bring that right hand up. Look at it, wiggle your fingers. Thread it palm up underneath your armpit, lower your shoulder, your head down, press into your left hand, press back with your right hip. Find the stretch. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Make your way out, back to box, walk your knees back. Bring your head forward. You're in a modified plank pose. Press up in your hands and then soften your elbows. Untuck your toes. Pull your belly button in and lengthen from your knees to your crown. You can deepen this by bending the elbows more, activating the muscles across the chest, the upper back. Pull the belly button in. Exhale slowly, chaturanga down. Extend the arms out to the side like airplane wings. Bring your left ear to the mat. Melt your body. You can lift your legs to release the flesh. Then slide your right hand towards you, elbow towards the sky. Make sure your left arm is straight out from your body, your palms facing down, your fingers are spread wide. We're going to stretch the front of that left shoulder by pressing into our right hand, rolling onto our left hip. Lift your right leg up. Adjust your hips so they're stacked, one on top of each other. Use your right hand to modify or accentuate the stretch in your left shoulder, and then lift and lower that right leg to work the hip while we stretch the shoulder for 10, 9. Are your hips stacked? 8. What do you need to do? 6 or 7, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll onto your belly and switch sides. Right ears on the mat. We're stretching our neck here. Roll the shoulders away from your ears. Right hand straight out, palms down. Slide the left hand to your shoulder and roll onto your right hip. Stack your hips. I'm bringing my hips forward to stack them, pointing that left toe, using this left hand to accentuate or back off of the shoulder stretch, and then work in the hip by floating in an arc that left leg up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll back onto your belly. Bring both hands outside your nipple line. Press the tops of your feet down. Lift your knees, not your toes. So press the tops of your feet into the mat. Lift your knees, your thighs up. Jelly your glutes. Cobra pose. If it supports you, if it's okay, lift your heart, lift your hands. Breathe. Drop your hands, drop your knees, press back into that child's pose. Devotional stretch. Inhale, come forward, set your knees, tuck your toes, be high enough on your mat. We're going to exhale by lifting the hips, coming onto the balls of our feet, downward facing dog. Set your feet wide if this is difficult for you. And then pedal your heels. Just stretch your calves. Wag your tail. Make sure your hands are spread wide. Fingers are open. And then set your heels and bring your ears in between your upper arms. Roll your armpits. Let the blood rush to your head, your teeth, your gums, your pineal. It's an inverted pose. You can look behind you at the world upside down. Open up to a new perspective. We're going to keep our feet where they are, bend our knees, walk our hands to our feet, come into our first forward fold, hinged at the hips, belly touches the thighs, head reaches for the floor, grab your elbows, shake out your head trash, give your head a nice wiggle. And then see if you can straighten your legs any amount, stretch the hamstrings. With the blood rushing to your head, you're making your cheeks rosy. You're increasing your intuition. You can ask yourself, what do I need? What do I want to align with? What do I need to support me? Release your hands, make some fists, roll up one vertebra at a time, and come into a standing salute with your hands over your head. So feet here should be about 1 foot length apart, outsides of the feet aligned, and then ears, shoulders, hips stacked, and breathe. We're going to swan dive. So on your exhale, bend your knees, open your arms. On your inhale, open your fingers and kiss your shoulder blades. Feel that heart shining. On your exhale, you're going to hinge at the hips and dive down in humility back into that forward fold. Fingertips touch the mat. Then inhale, slide up into a halfway lift, hinged at your hip, parallel the upper body with the floor. Kiss the shoulder blades, sag the belly, and lengthen from tailbone to crown. Drop your fingers where they are. 3 breaths here. Lower back down into the forward fold and walk out into that downward facing dog. Heels down, hips up. Bring your ears in between your upper arms. Bend your knees, walk your hands towards you. Roll up 1 vertebra at a time. Find the salute. Crescent over to the right, then come back to center and flow to the left. Let your hips go in the opposite direction of your hands, back and forth. Breathe. Next time you're to the left, stop at the center, swan dive, bend the knees, open the arms. Inhale, lift the heart, open the fingers, shine your light. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk out to the downward facing dog. Keep the right foot down, float the left leg up, drop the left shoulder, straighten the right knee. Float that left foot down and do the same with the right. Three-legged dog, drop the right shoulder. Sweep the right foot down, walk back to your toes, forward fold. Make some fists, roll up, sweep up. Left hand drops forward, right hand drops back, back up to center and flow. Try and keep your hips square with the front of your mat and just twist at your waist. Drop your shoulders away from your ears and stay long. Inhale and exhale. One more. Arms back up in the salute, crescent over to the right. Hold it this time, wrapping your right arm behind you, rolling your left shoulder back. Press your hips to the left as your left hand comes over to the right. Look up over your left armpit. Breathe. Sweep that right arm up and crescent over to the left. Same thing, stay between two panes of glass. Push your hip out, reach with your fingers, stretch. Inhale up, our swan dive, bend the knees, splay the arms, kiss the shoulder blades, lift the heart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk out to the downward facing dog. Drop the heels, lift the hips, align the ears, widen the shoulders, roll your armpits towards your body. Keep the right foot where it is, float the left leg up. Bring the thigh into the belly and the head comes forward, 3-point dog. Breathe. Kick it back up. Drop it back down. Right foot comes up. Drop that right shoulder. Pull the belly button in. Bring the thigh to the belly button. Head comes over the fingertips. 3 breaths. Kick it out. Drop it down. Walk your hands to your toes. Forward fold. Hang out for a sec. Say something nice to yourself. Grab your elbows. Shake out your head trash. Ask yourself, what do I need? What am I aligning with? What do I need to support me? Release, roll up, just like we did. Find the salute. Take the hands into fists, bring them into your kidney points. Kiss your shoulder blades together. Keep your hips over your feet and lift your heart. So a little modified back bend. If a full back bend is good for you, go ahead and do it. Hands overhead. Breathe. Slowly come out. Sweep the arms up. Left hand forward, right hand back. Keep that right hip rolled forward. Look behind you. 3 breaths. Both hands up. Exhale, other side. Look over the left fingertips. Stretch the eyeballs. Bring that left hip forward. 3 breaths. Inhale up. Pressing over to the right. Find your pose. Inhale up. Other side. Stay between 2 panes of glass. Breathe. Inhale up. Swan dive. Bend the knees. Splay the arms. Lift the heart. Bow in humility. Down we go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk out to the downward facing dog. Right foot stays where it is. Left leg comes up. Drop the left shoulder. Bring the thigh into the belly. Bring the head forward. Step that left foot in between your thumbs. Slide your right foot back. Stack your knee over your ankle. Bring your heart and your gaze forward. Stretch that right hip. Drop your knee down. Uncurl your right toes. Bring the hips forward again. Walk up to your thigh. Drop your shoulders. You can stay right here or exalt. Hands overhead. Arch the back. Bring the hands to prayer and add a twist. Right elbow over left knee. Look over that left shoulder. Come on out of the twist. Drop your hands down. Tuck your right toes. Lift your right knee. Hands are flat on the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Left foot stays where it is. Right leg comes up. Drop the shoulder. Bring the thigh into the belly. Head comes forward. Bring the foot in between the thumbs. It might take you a couple tries. We want to keep the knee stacked over the ankle. Slide that left foot back. Bring our heart forward. We're on our fingertips. Breathe. Drop that left knee down. Uncurl the toes. Walk up to the thigh. You can rest here or exalt. Everybody find prayer hands and a little twist. Look over the right shoulder. Awesome. We'll get a drink in just a minute. Drop your hands down to the mat. Tuck your back toe. Lift your back knee. This time, hop that left foot forward. Forward fold. Roll up one vertebra at a time. Say something nice to yourself. Let's get a drink. We'll do some balance, and then we'll wind down. Grab your strap. Mountain pose. Use the length of your foot, tucking one heel into the middle of the opposite foot, then pivot around, align your toes, and then align the outsides of your feet. That's going to get your ears over your shoulders over your hips over your feet. Take that strap underneath the arch of the left foot, and then hold on to the strap with your left hand. Take your right arm out to the side. If you need support, you can always hold on to a wall or have a chair here. Step out with your left foot. It's called star pose. So that you can stay here, just lifting that foot off of the mat, kissing the shoulder blades, bringing the head a little bit higher. You can challenge yourself by tilting more to the right, balancing on that right leg. If you're wiggling, you're a twinkling star. Breathe and breathe. Come out gently, gracefully. Keep that strap where it is. Weight into the right foot. Step out with the left. Lift your heel up, pull on the strap with both hands, and walk down the strap. So depending on your flexibility, where can you go? And balance and breathe. And you can be holding on to something with this right hand. Find a dristi. Get taller. Make your way out a little more gracefully than I did. Find your mountain. Find your dristi. A point that we're staring at. Bring the strap underneath the arch of your right foot. Come back to your dristi. Strap in the right hand. Left arm stays out. Right foot comes out. Maybe that's where you're at. Soften that left knee. Try to lift that foot up. Kiss the shoulder blades together. Come into your star. Breathe. Pull your belly button in. Get a little taller. Drop your shoulders out of your ears. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. If you fall, you're a shooting star. Come out. Make a wish. Come back up. Gracefully come out. Both hands on the strap. Weight into that left leg. Lift up the right leg. Where can you go? Breathe and breathe. And make your way out. Ditch that strap. Take your legs shoulder distance apart. Plant your feet at a 45-degree angle. Track your knees over your toes. Bring your pelvic bowl forward. Explore where you can go here. Sweep your arms up. Bring them down, 90-degree angle under the armpit and at the elbow. Spread 10 fingers wide. Bring your forearms together and then back. Inhale when they're back. Exhale when they come forward. Lower down if you want to challenge your quads, your glutes. Come on to the balls of your feet if you like a little more challenge. For 6, 5, 4, open your heart. 3, 2, and 1. Drop your heels. If you lifted, sink down. Bring the forearms together. Touch the pinkies and the thumbs. Separate the 3 fingers. Push your fingers up and your elbows out. Lotus pose. Feel the stretch across your upper back. Come on out to prayer mudra. Bring your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. If your legs are killing you, come on out. Drop your knuckles. Lift your heart. Open up across your chest. This gets really shrunken here from being on our little boxes. So take time here to really squeeze the shoulder blades. Bring the chest forward. Breathe and breathe. Exhale out. Come back into the squat and walk your fingers down in front of you. Garland pose. So we start out just wagging our tail. Seeing if you can bend your knees and rock side to side. You can always place blocks stacked under your buttocks if that supports you. Full garland, heels down, elbows into the knees, fingertips together. Pelvis comes forward and crown goes long. Great pose for camping. Breathe. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Grow the crown. Say something nice to yourself. Come on down to the mat. So we'll do a few more stretches, but grab the things that you want for your Savasana. So I'm going to do that same cobbler pose as my Savasana. So I'm going to have my blocks. I'm going to like a blanket. So I'm going to have that handy. It's also a nice time. I have a scent here, a little patchouli scent to just make it a little special. You might have some essential oils you put on your temples or in the center of your head. I also have a neck stretcher here I like to use. You might set some music, that's nice. You might have gotten a drink. We're going to roll down. You can do a more serious roll down, an ab workout. I'm just being gentle with my back today. I did a lot of heavy lifting. And it's just saying, I need you to be gentle. So my body's telling me what I need. What I want to align with is feeling great. So I'm just taking a minute to do some sideway massaging in a little wind removing pose, rocking side to side. So you might do that too. And come to still and grab your strap. Bring it underneath the arches of your feet and taunt it with both hands, pressing the heels up, gluing the belly button down. So there's no space underneath, no arch there. Tailbone is off of the mat, legs up against the wall. Nice little tug, nice and easy. Flex the feet, feel the stretch up the back of your legs. See if you can straighten your knees any amount. Drop your right foot down. Keep your knee bent. Bring the strap into your left hand. Taunt it. Slowly splay out the left leg, the right knee. Extend the right arm out. Palm face upward. Turn your gaze over it. You're pressing out with your left heel. The strap is taut. You should feel a nice stretch in your leg. You're heavying your right ear, should feel a nice stretch in your neck as you melt away this left shoulder. And then make a 90-degree angle at your elbow. Rest your fingertips on the floor and open up that right shoulder. Should feel nice and easy. And breathe. And breathe. On your next inhale, bring everything to center, straighten the right leg, bring the strap into the right hand, extend out the left arm, roll on to your right hip, turn your head, look over your left fingers. Find your edge. So you might have your foot up high or you might have it low. Your shoulders are melted. And then cactus, your arm. Feel that stretch in the front of the left shoulder. Take 3 breaths. Say, what do I need? What do I want to align with? What will support me? Come back to center. Walk up the strap. If you don't need the strap, grab your toes. Stretch that left leg. Come on out. Both feet under the strap. Taunt it and just notice the difference now between your 2 legs. Press, staple your belly button down, draw your elbows towards your hips. Keep your throat open and your face soft. Other side, slip out that left foot, drop it down to the floor. Keep the knee bent, strap in the right hand, splay out the right leg, the left knee. Extend the left arm, look over it. Cactus. And start to melt slow your breath. Real easy stretch. And breathe. Think about all your chakras come up from the first I am, I feel, I choose, I love, I speak, I see, I know. And this knowing is not from ego. This knowing is from that higher self. Bring everything back to center, switch the strap, straighten the left leg, roll on to the left hip, extend the right arm, melt the shoulders. Lower the right ear, cactus the right arm. Breathe. What do I need? What am I aligning with? What will support me to get with what I want to align with? The first question, what do I need? We ask that first because we can't do the deeper work until our needs are covered. Maslow's chart of hierarchy. We need to have our basic needs met. What do you need? And then who do you want to become as those needs are met? Simply come out, ditch your strap, come back into that little ball. Take a moment in dead bug. Rotate your ankles and your feet. Ask your body if there's anything you need a little bit more, maybe a happy baby, maybe something else, maybe a plow. We're trying to keep it easy today. When you're ready, decide how you want to do your savasana. So you can do so many things. You can, traditional savasana is legs wide, arms wide, just laying on your mat. You can do a supported savasana with legs over a chair or a couch, up against the wall. You can do what I'm doing, cobbler, where we started. You can have a towel under your low back or under your neck. I'm adding a neck stretcher. Once you get all your stuff set up, you can add an eye pillow over your eyes. You can stare at that spot at the ceiling if you'd rather not close your eyes, or you can hazy or close your eyes. Take a moment again to open the 10 fingers, open those chakras in your hands, letting your heart energy come through and receive. So palms open is a receptive state versus palms closed is a contracted state. So we're practicing that receptive state. Rest your hands down. No judging how open your hands are. Just notice where you are and how much you're doing on your journey. And then sink into your savasana. It's a time and place that's so important. So don't skip this. I really urge you. It's like the icing on the cake. A savasana is a time to practice being alive, awake, and aware, being right here in the moment. We want to not go into astral travel or go to sleep. We want to practice building the neural pathway, the muscle of presence, connected to the observer in our head, to notice the sensations in our body. So taking time to release any places that you're holding tension or resistance, adjust things that aren't comfortable, being with our breath. So using that Ujjayi breath and maybe taking some big open mouth exhales to get there. And then closing the lips and coming in to that soothing Ujjayi breath in and out through the nostrils, filling and contracting the belly, hearing the audible sound at the back of our throat, and staying consciously here, aware of our physical intelligence, aware of our emotions as they come, as they go, maybe noticing an emotion that you've been suppressing or holding back, not becoming it, but just taking time to say, what is that telling me about myself, my choices? What do I need? What do I hope to align with? And what will it take to get there? What is the support that I need? And just be here for a couple minutes with your breath, with yourself. Take another moment to scan, to hunt out those unconscious places where you're still holding, or maybe you already got distracted and you're thinking of something in the past or the future. Can you come back? Can you come back to your breath? Come back to your practice. No judgment, no criticism. Just come back. Breathe. And notice. Maybe ask yourself, what do I need? What am I hoping to align with? What will it take to get there? In the Enneagram, the law of seven, that hexad tells us change. Change is good. Change is challenging. Change is how we grow. We can't keep doing what we've always done and expect something different. From your relaxed state, wind your way into tiny little movements. And then that salute stretch with legs and arms extended. And walk your heels towards your buttocks. Grab something if it's available, a block, a ball, or just use your fist. Roll onto one side, catch your head, and place something between your knees. That's where your fist might go. So a supported fetal pose, the thing between your knees is supporting your hips, your low back, that chakra I feel, making you feel supported. You can bring your thighs deeply to your chest. Keep your throat open. Last little stretch for that low back. Our head is supported by our upper arm. Open your eyes in this pose, fetal pose, a pose you did in your mother's womb. Maybe your first yoga pose, with the energy and the gateway to remember your passion, your purpose, why you chose to be here with the people you're with, the situations you navigate. And breathe. Take in the space around you, feeling grateful for your body, your practice, your mat, your home, your internet, your device. And slowly make your way up. Let's just do one last little ending, a nurturing and honoring of our parts and our pieces. Come to sit on your mat with your legs out straight, peel away the flesh, separate your legs. Sitting up tall, use your hands to pat down your legs, hinge at your hips, stay long through your crown. It's a little qigong here. Come down the outsides of your legs, tell your legs, thank you. Bow your heart in humility. Come back up, and then last one, come down the insides. And if you can, reach your ankles, your feet, your toes, give them a nice pat. And then come up and come into easy seated pose, taking your hands to your belly. And just give a nice pat around your belly. Can you say something nice to your belly? Give gratitude for all that it does for you, all the organs inside. And then bring your hands to the back and make fist. And just give little love thumps all around your buttocks. Can you say something nice to your buttocks? Outside of your hips. And then up to your kidney points. Up as high as you can on your back. And come around and make flat hands again and just pat your chest. and you say something nice to your chest. And then come to the center of your chest and make your fingertips just thump here. It's where the thymus is. Keep us from getting COVID. Wake us up. So anytime you're sleepy, this is a immune stimulator. Wakes you up. And then just come to pats and pat across the clavicle. Bring the right hand to the left shoulder. Just give a nice rub across the top of your shoulder, nice squeeze. Come down your arm, sausage squeeze down your arm, your elbow, your forearm, your wrist, your hand, your fingers, and then switch to the other side. Say thank you to all these parts that we worked today. Come up to your shoulder. Take both your hands and just massage across the occiput. And we didn't stretch. Well, we did a lot of neck stretches today, I guess. And then come up the back of your head. Just give your hair, mess your hair up. And then bring your fingers to tap all around your face so gently. Massage those vagus nerves under the knees. Vagus nerve seems to heal everything when stimulated, so we'll just do it for everything. And then end with your hands at prayer, thumbs at heart. Let your eyes fall hazy or closed. The namaste translates into the light in me sees the light in you. I invite you to do this for yourself, to do this for me, to do this for the people around you, and to do this especially for the people you don't agree with or you don't like. Let's all see the light in each other. Let's bring more light into the world. Thanks for being here. Namaste. And that's a wrap. So thanks for joining me today, and check out the other stuff at connectingyouwithyourself.com. Have a good day.